You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible.
So following up on a story we brought to you yesterday, Kansas City voters overwhelmingly approved removing Dr. Martin Luther King's name from one of the city's most historic boulevards yesterday. The decision comes less than a year after the city council decided to rename the street, which had been known as the Paseo. Unofficial results showed the proposal to remove King's name received nearly 70% of the vote, with just over 30% voting to retain King's name. I mean, you know, every major city has some sort of Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. We all know that. We all kind of have certain ideas, like that's where you can find the hood, right? But you know, in this particular instance, you know, it's interesting that they actually put it up to the vote and then people said, hey, let's change it. Is this like a byproduct of gentrification? I mean, what exactly happened here?
Who knows? I mean, I do think that local communities do have the right to, you know, control what they want to do in terms of naming these things. And as somebody who's been in the media and in government for over 20 years, I have to say that one of the things that I see increasingly, and I'm sure it had been going on before I came along the scene, is to appease black communities, a lot of times they want to do a monument or a street renaming.
Yep.
What I find is that that is not particularly relevant, but it's important, it's cool. We have the Obama High School. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with these things. Somebody who's from New York, you know, Malcolm X Boulevard. Yep. I mean, it's all good. It's all good, but it's become the substitute of real action.
Yeah.
It's become the substitute of, and so everybody goes to the, you know, the groundbreaking or the unveiling, and then everybody's appeased. But to me, and I know I've brought it up several times, I guess this is the money episode for me. If it doesn't involve money, I am not particularly interested. But, you know, it is weird that this happened.
You sound like a capitalist.
That's right to happen. Yeah, I am a capitalist.
You capitalist? You sound like
I'm a capitalist, and because I just feel like it is a symbolic thing that, I mean, it's a symbolic thing. One of the fights we have in Virginia all the time is about monuments.
Right.
You know,
God,
monuments.
yes.
So it's not something that, of course, it's important, but, you know, if you want to talk about monuments, we have monuments to Jim Crow, like the school system in Richmond. Let's talk about monuments, right? But the real change is the thing that nobody wants to talk about. They want to rename a street or put up a statue and, you know,
they don't want to talk about redistribution of wealth.
Right, right.
They don't want to talk about redistribution of wealth. Now, hold on, Willis. Hold on. Hold on, Willis.
So, anyway, but
I do think this
sign.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've read the piece. I don't know enough about the Kansas neighborhood, but I do think the community in that neighborhood, in those neighborhoods, felt strongly about the naming of that street, the Paseo, and it had been that name for several decades. And the Martin Luther King name was new. I don't know what the racial makeup is, but I can tell you right now, if it's majority white, let me tell you something. Most white voters, you know, slavery, Jim Crow, the civil rights movement was a long time ago, right? They've been criticized and paid their dues. I'm reporting on what I've learned over the years. I don't agree with it, and they're tired of being blamed for the plight and the struggle that Martin Luther King went through. They obviously honor him with a holiday and all these other things, but I think the traditionalists in those neighborhoods decided that the fact that they wanted their name back didn't make them racist or racially insensitive, and that they honor Martin Luther King in a lot of other ways, but people felt strongly about the name of this street. That's what I think. Yeah. And I'm a Democrat, by the way.
Okay.
All right.
I'm sure there was I'm sure gentrification, maybe there are a lot of different layers, a lot of different reasons, but it's wrong. I mean, the symbolism is also not just for us and pride, it's for young white folks to see it too, so they grow up knowing that their leaders aren't just the ones that they are taught in the history books. Oh, Martin Luther King, wow, he's on my street, or I go past this street. So I think the symbolism is important without getting too into the weeds about it. So I think it was the wrong thing to do, and consequences of gentrification.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they can also rename another street. I wouldn't give up the fight.
Right, correct.
You know, there are lots of streets in Kansas City, and remember, you know, it's not a non-liberal city. You know, they've got the Negro Baseball
Right.
Historical Society there
Member
with the
Congress.
museum.
They got a member
Yeah.
Congress.
Right, exactly. They got
Black
CBC members. So I think they need to work through that with with that community and other communities to get that done, because the power of that name and the power of Martin Luther King and what he stood for all people, right?
Right.
And made this country better. That is powerful. So there should be a street named in his honor.
All
But
right.
you would, if you were that city, you wouldn't want to be named for that. I mean, we're talking
Yeah.
about it. I mean, that's just not, I don't think that's a good look.
Yeah,
It's bad
yeah.
optics.
At minimum, it's bad
It
PR.
really- right,
Absolutely.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, second annual Luxe Jazz Festival, folks, takes place in Cabo, November 7th through the 11th. That's right, Thursday through Sunday. I leave tomorrow. Looking forward to being there. Of course, if you want to participate, lifeluxjazz.com. But if you cannot attend, go to gfntv.com. Of course, they will be live streaming the 3 days worth of concerts featuring, you saw Gerald Albright, Alice Bunyan, Raul Madon, Incognito, Pieces of a Dream, Kirk Whalum, Average White Band, Donna McClurkin, Shalea, Roy Ayers, Tom Brown, Ronnie Laws, and Ernest Quarles. Again, gfntv.com. Get your live streaming pass, $10.99. All those concerts covering 3 days, and so you don't want to miss that. And of course, I'll be broadcasting from Cabo on Thursday and Friday, so looking forward to that. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.